Whether or not the martial arts are satanic or not, or okay to practice, it depends, in my opinion. And before I say that, let me say this. If you're a Christian and God has called you out of the martial arts, then you should stay out of the martial arts. Because that means it's bad for you. Other people might be able to practice it and be just fine. But apparently, if you feel convicted and you feel like you shouldn't practice it, then you shouldn't practice it. I don't care what I say, what anybody else says. If you know in your walk with God, you're not supposed to practice the martial arts anymore, whatever, then don't do it. Now, let me go through, first of all, what I think makes or could make the martial arts of a satanic, demonic, occult nature. Chi building? No. Not just doing energy exercises. I don't think the energy comes from Satan. The energy is just there. It's just a source of energy that's already around you anyway. So if you can tap into it, that's not really doing anything magical. That's just using something that we don't have the science to document yet. Just like people probably thought that all germs were evil spirits until we had a microscope that could measure bacteria. So no, just chi in and of itself is not. Now, if you're doing things where you are allowing yourself to be possessed by an outside entity, that would be demonic. That's demonic possession. There is a style. I'm not going to name the style's name because I don't want to style bash. But the guy who called me about the style to see if I was interested in it back in the day said that you learn the style by going up into the mountaintops and allowing yourself to be possessed by the spirit of the ancestors or the ancestral spirits. They possess you, they come into your body, and they show you the movements. And then you do the movements after they have left your body. That's what he said. That's demonic possession. There is no way you're supposed to be allowing dead people to come into your body where your soul lives. That's demonic. So that would be demonic. If you cast spells in hopes of gaining more martial arts power, that's demonic. Of course, right? Right. Now, where it could be a little gray, if you're saying certain words to give your techniques more power, I wouldn't necessarily think that that's necessarily demonic or not. It probably really doesn't give you that much more power. It's just that your thinking makes it so. So that would be more of a placebo. So that might not necessarily be demonic. So I've covered chi, I've covered some of the power words. That, not demonic. Allowing yourself to be possessed, demonic. Praying to some other gods that are not the one true God that you worship as a Christian or Muslim or Jew, that would be demonic. So if you're trying to gain your power from demons and evil spirits and unseen entities, that's demonic. Just the chi thing itself, that's just the battery that runs the universe. That was created by God. So, no, that's not demonic. What else could be demonic that doesn't necessarily involve anything occult? Seeking to hurt people just for the sake of hurting people. Putting competition above everything else. Treating people that lose as if they're less important than people that win. That would be demonic. Satanic. That's not walking in love. Being arrogant with your martial arts practice. Becoming idolatrous to the point where you put your martial arts practice ahead of God, ahead of going to church, ahead of family and friends, ahead of your job, that would be demonic, or that would be satanic, or that would be the improper use of martial arts. So if you want to talk about can the martial arts be satanic or occult, that other stuff that some people want to debate about whether it's being occult in terms of learning these hidden or forbidden things, that's not as easy to stray into. There's a lot of stuff that we call hidden or occult. Like there was something, I looked at a link from something that forwarded to something else where they were supposed to be, this is occult power. The thing was not occult power. It was physics. It was physics. Being able to break boards over certain parts of certain parts of your body, or have steel bend on certain parts of your body, that's just knowledge of how to position the body and where to strike on the body. Because some parts of your body are strong enough to withstand steel, and some aren't. Being able to put up a mental shield, like a physical shield, like an energy shield, so things won't quote unquote hurt you, that's mind over matter, really. That's not going to stop a bullet. It can make you take a punch because you're turning off some of your pain receptors. That's not really occult. That's mind over matter. And just because that might not be taught to everybody right away, that doesn't mean that it's occult or hidden or some kind of super secret mystery knowledge, even if people are trying to pattern it as super secret mystery knowledge. I'll tell you one thing, if most people don't get to that stuff in their training, even if their style has it, it's probably because your instructor's too busy nagging you to practice the thing he showed you or she showed you last week. Too busy just trying to show you how to hit somebody before we can talk about doing it with less physical strength and more technique and possible chi or ki. Man, you could just, it's so hard getting people to just remember how to do Chan Ji. Who has time to teach them chi, really? But anyway, I'm getting off on a rant here. So, one thing you got to remember, and for the people that want to know what would make the martial arts okay, first of all, God describes himself in the Bible as a warrior. In some of the Psalms, it says, blessed be the Lord who trains my hands for war. God blessed plenty of warriors. God would not describe himself as a warrior. You wouldn't have the psalm that says, blessed be the Lord, my God, who trains my hands for war and teaches my fingers to fight, if becoming a warrior or engaging in war activities are in and of themselves bad. They're not. You need to know how to defend yourself against Satan's brood. The martial arts can be a way for people to protect themselves from evil. So did you ever think about maybe that's why spirit of fear is coming up around that area, to scare away people who want to be devout so that they're more vulnerable to evil people who are going to learn it anyway and use it in the wrong way. Now, I know we want to say that our goal is to be like Christ if we're Christians, and Christ was not violent. No, Christ did not use violence as a first resort. But he did take a whip and go into the temple and crack it at those money changers that were gambling in the sacred temple. He took a whip and did that. That's a little violent. It was justified, though. I don't think he was wrong in doing that, but to try to act like that just because you're a Christian, you're never, ever supposed to ever resort to any kind of physical force ever in your life, ever, is not realistic. Otherwise, we wouldn't have police officers. What you shouldn't do is be a violent person who wants to hurt everyone every chance they get. That should be what the martial arts teach you. To protect and defend, not to hurt for gain and pleasure.